All right, welcome everyone. Welcome back, fellow writers, creatives. Hopefully you can hear me. Today, I have the absolute pleasure of introducing our guest, SD Huston, an incredible author, veteran, wife, mother, autism supporter, and self-proclaimed cat lover. So SD brings a wealth of knowledge and experience to the table, and I'm absolutely thrilled to have her join us on the channel today to talk about her Kickstarter experience. So, without further ado, let's dive into SD Huston's presentation.
I'm a passionate author, pouring heart and soul into writing and publishing my books. But there's one thing holding me back: the daunting upfront cost of hiring professionals like editors and cover designers. But maybe there's a solution. Today, I'm excited to share my personal journey of launching my first Kickstarter campaign and how it's transformed my writing career. Hey everyone, thanks for having me on your channel, Andy. And I'm Shannon, writing under the pen name of SD Huston, and I'm the author of the Clash of Goddesses series and now A Curse of Scales and Feathers. I'm also the founder of the AuthorTube Writing Conference, and I'm one of 3 hosts for the Self-Publishing Tips and Tricks podcast with Ben Pick and Morgan Lee. Today, I want to share with you the journey of launching my first Kickstarter project, and it has been an incredible experience. I want to emphasize the importance of this endeavor and the process I followed. One of the main reasons I decided to pursue a Kickstarter campaign was the financial aspect. As an author, I love writing and publishing my works for others to read. However, the upfront cost of hiring a good editor and cover designer can be challenging. With my first series, I'm still in the negative financially. I make money every month, but at the current rate, it's gonna take me ages to even break even. Kickstarter offers a wonderful opportunity to find support and introduce my work to audiences in a novel way. When planning on launching the campaign, I followed some essential steps. Although I had a limited time frame of 6 weeks, they suggest 3 months, I dedicated every spare moment to researching successful Kickstarter campaigns in my genre of fantasy romance. I also took a paid course called the Kickstarter Accelerator by Russell Nolte and Monica Lionel, which provided valuable insights and strategies. Throughout the campaign, I learned some valuable lessons. Firstly, doing a Kickstarter campaign successfully requires time and dedication because it's a lot of work. Giving yourself enough time to plan is crucial. I've made a few mistakes that resulted in losing money on a couple of backers. So paying attention to your budget, your profit margins is essential. And having an average of 50% profit for your tiers is important, but you'll want to double check and triple check all of those figures and avoid some of the mistakes that I've made. It's important to note that digital only tiers may give you higher percentages, like 80% profit. But this is offset by having physical good tiers where the average is usually around 30%. You may think it's a good strategy then to just offer only digital tiers, but keep in mind that Kickstarter was built on the model of delivering physical goods, so the audiences on the platform has that expectation. Next, you want your campaign to be more than about selling your book. You want to provide an experience and rewards that your audience won't get anywhere else. The question you want to ask yourself is, why would anyone buy your marked up book on Kickstarter when they can just wait for it to come out at a cheaper price on Amazon or other retailer platforms? I answered this question with 2 strategies. One is stressed in the course that I took, and that is providing close to a 200% value to backers on any given tier. You offer things that have inherent value, like ebooks of your backlist, which cost you nothing more to produce and deliver, but adds value to a given tier. You want your backers to feel like they're getting their money's worth or more. 2 is about capturing your audience's attention, and this can be done in 2 ways. One, you offer products, both digital and physical, that wouldn't usually be available except during a Kickstarter campaign. For instance, one of my digital products is an animated book cover. One of my physical products is a set of candles scented for my main characters. These are products you don't normally find or sell on Amazon as part of your book, and this adds to the experience your audience has in coming to your Kickstarter campaign. 2, you capture audience's attention by incorporating eye-catching graphics. Look at different Kickstarters, read through their pages. Which ones make you stop and stay longer on a given campaign page? For me, those were the campaigns with graphics to include the intro videos, pictures, and GIFs. Large chunks of text tend to lose potential buyers. Content marketing research suggests that people typically only read 20% of the text on the screen, with some estimates saying that that number has decreased over the last few years. So if you put important information about how wonderful your campaign is and what you're offering all into text, backers may miss it and move on. However, graphics make potential backers pause to learn more. Now let's talk about the marketing strategies I employed. I use these to generate interest and attract backers. And firstly, I focus on building interest in the story itself before announcing the Kickstarter campaign. This worked well because I already had an existing audience. And then I announced the Kickstarter to my newsletter, which I diligently built over the last couple of years, to my audience on YouTube, which is my main author platform, and on my podcast. I also used the strategy to launch the campaign the day before, available only for the first 72 hours. Sure. To create a sense of urgency and social proof, I offered an early backer reward tier with a limited time offer that included a unique dragon sticker available only for the first 72 hours. I'm thrilled to share that my Kickstarter campaign is currently fully backed for my goal of $1,000. I've been funded at an amazing 268%. If you enjoy stories about dragons, curses, hidden magic, and of course, romance, you might find my standalone fantasy romance novel with a happily ever after intriguing. I'd love to have your support on my Kickstarter campaign. You can find that link in the description box below. Launching a Kickstarter campaign has been an incredible journey that's not yet done for me, but I'm grateful for the opportunity to share it with you. Kickstarter is definitely a fantastic platform to bring your creative projects to life. And thank you, Andy, for allowing me to share this information. And thank you all for joining me today, and happy writing.
Okay, so thank you for the rundown, SD. If you're okay, we've got quite a few questions in the chat. So would you be okay to go through some of them now?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, cool. Okay,
Do we want to say hello to people in the chat?
Yes, actually, I was going to say we should really say hi to everyone. So Hanania, great to see you. Carolyn, hi. Emma Bennett, as always, great to see you. Elma, author Lauren Adele, hi. Really good to see you. Melix, and she's got the same questions as Carolyn, so we're going to cover some of that. And of course, R.C. Scott and Martin Lejeune has just joined us. So see everyone. Okay, so let's dive right into some of the questions. So the first one comes from Carolyn, and she says, "You'll probably touch on these things, but my main questions are: how do you choose rewards that make it enticing for readers to want to back it? And number two, how do you get it in front of people?" So I feel you kind of covered a couple of those anyway, but if you would like to just expand a bit,
yeah, sure.
Go ahead.
So the first thing I did was I spent 2 months, and I spent 6 weeks setting up my Kickstarter campaign, but I spent 2 months before that just looking at Kickstarter campaigns on the site. And you can change, like your filter levels of what you're looking at. So you can look at like most funded, most backed, near new projects and stuff like that. So first I looked at like the most backed and most funded, because those things were already done. Those campaigns were done. And I wanted to see what strategies they use. But like any marketing platform, because Kickstarter is a marketing platform in a way, things are constantly changing. Even as I was setting up my reward tiers, they changed things, and that changed how I had to set up my reward tiers. So you want to keep up to date with that. So I did look at, okay, what did people do? And I wanted to also look at what was outside of, publishing and fiction, because that's the category you can choose, publishing and then fiction. And there's publishing in other categories as well. So I looked at publishing and fiction, and I looked at just fantasy romance as well. But I want to look at the bigger ones, like the overall umbrellas, because sometimes you'll see strategies used that you don't see anybody else using in your niche. And so that can always give you new ideas of what to try as far as coming up with rewards that entice readers. So that had a part in it. I kept a running log of all the things that intrigued me. So, this is subjective. You're looking at, the objective part is, it was fully funded, it was fully backed, but then why was it backed? Is it because the author's well known? And I did, or whoever's doing the product, and I did research that. So a lot of the authors who get like a lot of money, they're like USA Today bestsellers. So I was like, okay, so I looked at that, but then I looked at people at my caliber of publishing, and what they did and what was successful for them. And the things that intrigued me, which was the subjective part, is what I thought I would want to include. So that's the rewards, coming up with different ideas for the rewards. And then how do I get it in front of people? So in the course that I took, they did say you do want to have your own audience coming to Kickstarter. There is an audience on Kickstarter, but the way you get in front of that audience is getting traction first on your Kickstarter campaign. And I talked about the early backer reward of the $1 level of getting the dragon sticker. And that was like, I have like 50 stickers. And so I was like, and each one was unique. And I put out there that it was free shipping wherever in the world, which technically then I would be losing money on it. But the idea is getting as many people to back you as possible in that first like 24 to 48 hours, they say is the most important. So you want to get as many backers as you can. And so having that on there was, enticing. And I did have a lot of people who just backed it for that $1 and got that dragon sticker. So, that has two things that go into that, right? Social proof. The idea is, well, if all these people like it, I'm probably going to like it too. So social proof is a real thing that happens in marketing when you're trying to sell your product. And then the other part is that if you have a professional looking page and you're getting funded, Kickstarter has their own promotion in-house. You can't apply to it. And it's what they call the Project We Love. And so I got that Project We Love sticker on the third day, which is right after I got backed. Maybe that was Monday. I'm trying to remember the actual times. The Altitude Writing Conference was happening that weekend, and I was not getting a lot of sleep. But I was like, how do you get the Project We Love sticker? How do you get that on there? And everything I could read, it said you can't do anything to get it. You just have to have the right stuff in place, and then they give it to who they think deserves it based off of their page and professionalism and stuff like that. And I've even gone, after I got the sticker, I went and looked at all the ones that were in my genre. And I think there was only 3 active campaigns in my genre when I went to research it. And this was like 2 or 3 days ago. And there was one that has more money, was backed for more money than mine is. We're all, the 3 campaigns are all ongoing. They're not done yet. And one has more money than I do, but they did not get the Project We Love sticker. So I was like, okay, so I did something right to get that. And so when you get that course, then one of their categories that you can search on their site is Projects We Love. So of course, it's just more promotion you can get. So I think that's the best thing. You want to be able to plan ahead of time to present as professional page as possible. And again, having that audience to come with is the best you can do. And what size audience you need, that can really differ, because you could have an audience of 10 who back you on a tier that's worth $100, and now you've made $1,000. So I have seen some campaigns that were like that, where they didn't have very many backers, but they got fully funded and had even more money than what their original goal was. So if you have like 10 super fans, you're probably going to be good to get what goal you might have. I say that with a caveat because it depends on what your goal is. Some people put a goal that they really don't want. They want something much higher. And I don't really understand that strategy too well, but yeah, I use the strategy of, I want to walk away where I don't have upfront costs, and I'm not going into publishing this series on retailer platforms already in debt. Because I went into my last series publishing it, I was already in debt with my editors, everything. I'm $4,000 in debt still with that series. So that was my goal. And so, yeah.
Gotcha. That's a really genius move with the relatively low ticket item with the stickers. I know you may run at a loss, but it gives that social proof, that boost up front. That's really genius, actually. Thank you, Carolyn, for the question. And Mel actually had a similar question, so we've kind of hit both in one go.
Okay.
So we got another question, and she's sorry, Lauren. She's looking forward to this. So she asks the pros and cons of digital versus physical. I'm guessing physical rewards. So what are your thoughts on that?
Well, digital rewards are really easy to deliver. You don't have to pay an extra fee. You don't have to go through a company. You don't have to figure out shipping rates. There are a lot of people on the Kickstarter campaign who are like, say they're and I haven't just seen this in the US. I've seen UK-based people who do this too, who say only shipping to their location where they're at, right? So only shipping to the US or only shipping to the UK, because shipping rates all around the world, they constantly change their influx. So having physical rewards can be difficult. The con is that trying to figure out actually how much is it going to cost to ship it, especially trying to calculate that things change. And like, I just learned something new. So I think a lot of this does come with experience, but I just learned something new about like VAT and taxes and stuff like that. Like, I know that exists. We don't have that here in the US, but from what I looked into it and asked some people about it, and that is something that the person pays when it comes to their house, the product. And I was like, okay, so I'm not paying for that. But then would the backer get upset when they find out they have to pay this fee in order to receive it when they've already paid for it and paid, whatever that they've, and I do add shipping costs on there with the physical products that are outside the US. Okay, so digital, the pro is it's easy to deliver it. And especially if you have ebooks, if you have a backlist of ebooks, it's already made. You're not paying anything extra for your backlist. You don't have to deliver it in a way that it costs money. Depends on how you deliver it. Like I got onto BookFunnel to do my delivery. And so of course I'm paying for BookFunnel, but I'm using BookFunnel too, also for more cross promotions and all other things. So there's a lot of stuff that comes with that. Physical rewards, you're paying for those products to be delivered. But the pro of the physical rewards is that is what most people are looking for when they come to Kickstarter. They want a physical product. Most people do, because that's what Kickstarter was built on. My thought of with the pros is, again, coming from my own subjective idea, which is I would love the idea of getting like candles that were scented like my characters or whatever, or the characters in my favorite book. So you can really get creative with it, but not everybody's going to enjoy that part of it. And so, yeah, because you usually make less of a profit on your physical reward tiers.
Yeah, gotcha. It's a fine balance, isn't it? You gotta, balance out the profit versus how much it's going to cost. Okay, we're gonna hit one question from Mel. I'm not sure if you got any experience, so if you don't, no worries. But Mel asks, have you looked into the difference between Kickstarter and Indiegogo?
So Indiegogo is very similar to Kickstarter platform. I had heard of it, but had not looked into it when I started my Kickstarter campaign. And part of the course I took with Russell Nolte and Monica Lionel, they have like a whole section based off of, as soon as you finish your Kickstarter, you push it over to Indiegogo. So I kind of looked at it because my campaign ends July 31st. And I thought, well, if I can make another profit over there, I don't know enough about it. Like, I'm not going to like promote it to my audience again because I've been promoting it all of July. I mean, I might put out there, hey, if you didn't get a chance to back it, it's now on Indiegogo. You have another chance to do it. And I haven't decided yet how long I'll do it for, because the amount of time that it takes for you to run your campaign and then fulfill it, right? You don't want to put whatever product it is, your main product you're selling, which mine is my main book, the A Curse of Scales and Feathers. You don't want to put that on retailer platforms until you've already fulfilled everybody's stuff. And the fulfillment part, I don't have any experience with that yet because I've not been there. I'll start that next month. But from everybody that I talk to who is experiencing this, and there's a couple of Facebook groups I'm part of, they're all around Kickstarters, and I'm part of a circle community that's also about Kickstarters. Everybody says the fulfillment part is the hardest part. So I'll see what happens when I get there. Yeah, so you want to get everything fulfilled first before you put out on retailer platforms, because if not, your backers may get upset with you. And, they're like, well, I could just, gone and buy it there and I'll get it quicker than I would have got it through your campaign. So yeah, I'm going to have to really take a look at that. I might do the Indiegogo maybe for like 2 weeks. That way I can still get my book out on retailer platforms. My goal was to try and get it out by October or November, the latest December, but then November and December are not great months to publish books on retailer platforms. So I'm going back and forth on that, but I do think I want to get out on retailer platforms this year. So I don't know what the differences are. I'm going to have to look into it a little bit more, but when I did look into it a little bit, it looks very similar to Kickstarter.
Gotcha. Great stuff. And we've got a very cheeky question from Martin, and feel free to answer. Were the graphics easy? So my response was, your graphics were really, really beautiful. So I don't think they were easy, and I would say it probably took a bit of effort to get there. How easy did you think they were to produce?
If I had never done anything like that before, it would take some time. So I designed my own book covers. I did hire a cover designer for my first series, but I didn't like the covers as much as when I did it myself. So I spent money that I didn't need to spend. But so I designed my own book covers. When I was doing that, I had never worked really in a graphics design program, and I was doing everything as free as possible. I had used Inkscape over the years because I thought it was kind of cool to, kind of trace over different pictures, because you can put picture and trace over it and stuff. And that was really cool. But GIMP is more high powered when it comes to certain things over Inkscape. And I also have an artistic background, not in coming from an academic level, but just from, I like to paint. I like to do things that are creative. I mean, this is a painting here. I have never sold anything, but I've had offers for some of my paintings. It's really hard for me to sell something if I painted it for myself, which often if I paint something, it's for myself. But if I paint something for someone, I usually give it away. It's easy to do, but I can't usually sell my paintings. Yeah. So I feel that I have that I've been looking at colors and design and, layout and, placement. I've been looking at all that stuff all my life because I love doing art. So I think that helped. And then the program took me a long time to learn. It took me probably, I don't know, a couple months to make my first book cover for my first series. It took me 3 weeks for my second book cover, and it took me like 48 hours, a little less than 48 hours to make my third book cover. So I have that experience now, being faster and faster. So making graphics it wasn't hard, but that's because I have the experience with it.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. So it was easy once you have the experience. So yeah, there we go. Let's move on to the next question. From Mel again. What course did you take? So you've referenced the course a couple of times. If you don't want to share, no problem. But I'm just going to throw it out there.
It's called the Kickstarter Accelerator course. It's quite expensive. So you have to balance what you want to do. Excuse me. So I could count that in my cost, and I kind of do in the back of my mind. I paid $999 for it, but the course I got included a direct sales course as well. That was like $300 of that. And I don't know if the Kickstarter Direct or the Kickstarter Accelerator course also includes that now, because they're changing their structure levels all the time. Because this is still a new program for Russell Nolte and Monica Leon now. They just started the course. They started it widely last year. They were in beta the year before, like in October, November, but I didn't hear about it at that point. But Russell is like a numbers guy. So I spent a lot of time talking with him through like an online platform like this, where we went through numbers, because I was like, I don't want to pay this amount of money because now I'm going to be in debt again. So I wanted to make sure that I could make the money back. And I thought, well, if I even if my first Kickstarter, I don't make them, I just pay back the money of the course, then my next Kickstarter, I will make all that will be profit. And the thing about the course is, once you pay for it, it's yours. It's always yours. You can always go back and reference it. And they do update it every now and then. So
cool. So it's a one cost for life. And I think it's probably safe to say you've fully funded the course.
Yeah. Because, well, if I had hit my $1,000 goal, I was walking away with $160 in my pocket. So that would not have paid for the course. But now I'm at $2,600.
Yeah.
So I have there's $1,000 right there that pays back the course, and I'm still making a little bit of money on top of it. Yeah.
Gotcha. Excellent. Just quickly, I'm not sure if you want to share, because it will vary, depending on what you do and how you decide to go with freelancers and all that. So Carolyn asks, will $1,000 cover the editors and all the things you need? Stickers are so great. I completely agree. Stickers is a genius idea. But how about the rest of the costs?
Okay, so when I said that if I made my $1,000 goal and I was walking away with $160, that included all the costs. That included paying for my cover, which was $235. I paid for a bookmark, which was $50. I paid for the animated book cover, which was like $35. I mean, I calculate all these costs in there. So you have all the costs of goods. So making the products, all the products. So I count all that in there. I also calculated in a $3 or 3% fee, because Kickstarter takes 3% of your profit. You also have to pay for all the credit card fees, and people they back you with credit cards. So I calculated that in there. And then I also calculated in all the shipping costs for those that were physical tiers. And at the end, I calculated another 15% like fudge factor. So took off another 15%. And with that, that's where it gave me, oh, wow, I just got more money. That's where I got, but I had the same number of backers. So someone must have upped their tier or something, because I had 69 backers, but with less money yesterday. Oh, wait, did I lose? I don't know. What was I at? What did it show in that video? I think
I'm not sure. I just thought I'd pop it up on the screen. But you're doing very well. You've got 69 backers with, I'm not sure what that is in US, but that's.
Oh, maybe that's what. Okay, so that probably is the same amount of money then, because I didn't realize that was in.
That's in Canadian.
Yeah. So that's probably because I had 69 backers yesterday. Yesterday was the first day that I got no backers, that I had no new backers added on. So it does happen. They say that your Kickstarter, you'll start really, really strong, and then the middle of your Kickstarter campaign, it dips down, and then at the end, it goes back up again. So I was expecting it to happen, and that's where you can do things like weekly rewards and things like that to try and generate more interest.
Perfect. Okay, so we're gonna do the final question, because I'm very aware that you've got a stream after this as well.
Yeah, we still have another good 20-25 minutes.
Okay, we'll keep going for now. Just want to say hi to Arthur and Sophie, who's popped in. Great to see you, Anne. And Richard Holiday. Ooh, behave yourself, Richard. I'm not gonna put one of the comments he's put in, but he says something back is nice. That's Yeah, that's cheeky. Okay, so Mel has another question. Where did you go to get the candles made? And were the scents custom or standard? Now, I'm really curious about this because I do burn some candles sometimes, and it'd be really cool if your author or someone running a Kickstarter with a book has like custom candles. That's like a great idea.
So, I mean, I have seen some of the authors on there. That's where I got the idea from, who have scented candles. Like there's this one group of authors or 6 authors, and they all write fantasy romance, and they will choose a theme. Now, they've done this like 4 or 5 times now. They will choose a theme, and they will all write their own book with the theme in the same world. And then they sell it as one Kickstarter campaign. And like I said, they've done this 4 or 5 times now, and they sell it. They have 6 books they're selling. And I think that 5 of them are heterosexual romances, and then the other one I think is sapphic romance. So they're all taking place in the same world and everything, and they go together, and they make regularly. They make like $30,000 on each Kickstarter. So they have a company they go through who makes candles for them with the exact scent. I don't have the funds for that. So and I am resourceful, and I'm kind of got the artistic background. I have made homemade like bath stuff, and so I already have scents like. I've like lavender. I already had lavender because I've made homemade bath stuff that I've given away for Christmas presents and things like that. And I wanted to try it myself to make the candles myself. So I bought a candle making kit, and I wanted to get, I think it's, I think I have soy. The candle making kit was soy wax, which I found out is actually bad and it's harmful for the environment once it burns off. It's not as bad as like a regular candle that you're used to, like the wax ones. So I also bought some beeswax candles. So I did all those costs are calculated in there. And then I bought the little heart tins, and I meant to get just the 2-ounce tins. But when I ordered one, I realized, I might need more because, I'm going to probably make a whole bunch of these just for myself, because I also bought some resin that has glitter in it because I want to get silver in there because silver is a big color in the book. So just trying out different things. I'm just playing with it. And I like to do this kind of stuff. Like I like being creative and creating things and making things pretty. But when I ordered the tins, I went to go order more, and I didn't realize I ordered 4 ounces at 2 ounce. So I do have, one level is 2 ounce tins, and the other one is 4 ounce tins. Now I already had lavender, which my main character smells like lavender. My male half, though, he smells like soap and pine. I was like, who's going to pine and soap smell candle? But there's a dragon's blood scent that I can't remember what goes into it now. But it's a scent that people regularly use, like in their soaps and their candles and things like that. So when I saw dragon's blood, I was like, yep, I'm getting that one. And I bought that. And that was like, I think it was only like $2 and some cents for the scent. And I only need like 2 drops per like batch of candles I'm making. So it's going to last a long time.
Nice. Genius. Absolute genius. Now, I think I missed a question earlier, and that's from Lauren. So I'm going to put it up here. And I guess this is kind of generic, but what other marketing can be used in addition to Kickstarter, which you've covered quite a few, but if you have any other ideas, feel free to expand.
Well, I mean, there are things I would have loved to try that I just ran out of time with. Like some people do Facebook ads to their Kickstarter campaign. Another reason why I joined BookFunnel is because people run cross promotions of just Kickstarters on BookFunnel. So I missed out on one. I would kick myself in the butt. It was for fantasy romance too. But I missed it by 1 day because I joined BookFunnel the day after it closed, that promotion closed. And I was like, is it too late? And they said, yeah, sorry, we can't. In Story Origin, you could join a promotion late, but in BookFunnel, you can't. It closes. So, and I'm using Story Origin for other promotions.
Okay. No.
Okay, so there's that. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. Yeah.
Of course, you have your soft marketing, which is where you just kind of talk about it and you put out like for instance, I put on Instagram, I put up the tropes. Like you saw the tropes in my video that was played earlier here. They show all the tropes in my book. Like I put that up as just a reel on Instagram. So I'm not saying go buy my book, but I'm soft marketing because I'm talking about my book and I put the link into the thing. So you have your soft marketing, and then you can, do your hard marketing as well with your book. And I wanted to do TikTok. I actually hired someone to do TikTok for me, gave her all these graphics and everything, and she didn't even do it. So then I got my money back. So I waited 2 days and she didn't do it starting on the day that it launched. And so I was like, forget it, I want my money back. But I knew I just didn't have time to do what did I just say? That was TikTok.
Yeah. Well, at some point you've run out of time to do everything. There's only that much we can do. But yeah, cool. Thank you so much for answering all those questions. I think that's pretty much it. Hopefully, I haven't missed any. If you see any that I missed, I do apologize, but I think I got them all.
Okay.
The rest were kind of chatting in the chat with people and highs and how I use. So we're all good. So I guess maybe we can wrap it up there. Thank you so much, SD, for sharing all your insights. We really appreciate it. I really appreciate it. I'm actually thinking maybe I could even give Kickstarter a try next time. But there's so much prep involved, so it's not like an overnight success. I know, we have on the thumbnail it says 2.7 days. You definitely hit that target in under 3 days for sure. There's a debate as to whether it was 2.5 or just over 2.5 days, but we're splitting hairs, right?
What I would say is you can do your campaign simpler than mine. Like there is someone who actually reached out to me she's on Kickstarter. I think it's a she. It could be a he. I don't see a picture of them. But the main protagonist is female. So sometimes I think that's a female author, but it's not necessarily true. But she reached out to me through my Kickstarter campaign. Hey, do you want to cross pollinate? And I was like, cross pollinate must be the same thing as cross promotion. So we're going to cross promote each other's Kickstarter campaigns. And hers is simple, very, very simple. I think she only has, or he or they have only like 3 or 4 tiers. And so like the first tier is the ebook, and the second tier is the paperback, and then the third tier is the hardback, and then like the fourth tier I think is all 3 of those things. And that's it. They don't offer anything else extra. But this is a book that they've already published, and the hardback is a special edition that they're only doing for Kickstarter. So I see that a lot, that like if books have already been published, they want to do like a special edition hardback. And I think what it is like there's like gold foil or something sprayed on the edges. Like it's a really pretty hardback cover or a book, and I see a lot of those on Kickstarter, and those tend to be simpler, and that would be so much easier to set up. I don't know what the profit margin on that looks like though. So
yeah, you have to run the numbers before you
because most of her tiers are physical products. So I'm like, I don't know how you're going to have a positive profit, but she must, or they must know something, or they have someone they're working with that they're getting the products done at a good price.
Yeah. That's probably it. Cool. Okay. Thanks very much for being here today, SD. Did you want to do your outros and then we can close it off?
Sure. Well, again, thank you so much for having me on, Andy. I really, I love talking and sharing information about anything I'm doing self-publishing. So this was a great opportunity for me to talk about Kickstarters, and I think it's a wonderful place. I wanted to preface. So Russell Nolte has used Kickstarter for years, and he says that he has seen a decline in how much money authors are making over the last year. So I do want to put that out there for those who are thinking about using Kickstarter. For me, I'm not like trying to make $20,000 on my campaign. So I just wanted to not be in debt when I published my book. So it worked for me for my goal, but whatever your goal is, you may not make that same money that other people have been making. But yes, so my name is Shanon. I write in the pen name of S.E. Huston. I am the author of the Clash of Goddesses series, which you can actually get as part of my campaign. It's my backlist. And now the author of Curse of Scales and Feathers, which is a fantasy romance about dragons and romance and hidden curses and magic. And I really love the story. It's my best book to date. I really do, and really enjoy the story. And so you can back me on Kickstarter. I am the founder of the AuthorTube Writing Conference, which just happened a couple weekends ago. But you can go to authortubewritingconference.com if you want to catch all the presentations that were awesome. It's free. It's always going to be free. Andy was one of our presenters, so you can see. I think he talked about keywords in his presentation, so you can see that. I didn't even talk about that. So this is a searchable site. So this is another way to market you and your books, because when your campaign is done, it stays on Kickstarter and people can in the future find it always and always. You can and if you see that my headline underneath that, right, all that stuff, those are all keywords to try and get to what people are searching for. So that's important. I meant to say that because you were all about keywords in your AuthorTube Writing Conference presentation. I'm also 1/3 of the Self-Publishing Tips and Tricks podcast, which we have our next episode coming out on the 15th. That's in 5 days with Adrian Santiago. And he's talking about, diligently setting up your author platform before you even publish a book, because he spent 3 years setting up his author platform before he published his first book. And I think that'll do it. I do have a YouTube channel under S.E. Huston. I run nearly daily writing sprints. You can join me for those, for whatever productivity you need in your life, and occasionally publish videos about self-publishing and my writing journey.
Perfect. So yes, everyone, hopefully you can go and check out SD's Kickstarter campaign and at least follow along. Feel free if you want to back her campaign as well, so you can really get the insights. So like she says, she's got so many tiers. You don't have to like fork out huge amounts of money if that's not within your budget. But if you do enjoy her work, by all means, there are higher tiers. And as always, there are keywords in in the campaign. So make sure you take note of that. She's dropped so much, golden nuggets that I think this could be a course in itself. But alas, we don't have time for a course. So let's call it a day there. I will see everyone on YouTube, and until next time, have a great day, have a great week, everyone. Take care. Bye.